Welcome, and thank you for joining today's digital doc presentation by Aligned Modern Health, co-hosted with our partners from Lofty. Today we will be offering a guided meditation and a healing sound bath for stress relief and relaxation. We invite you to participate along with us today, but also please know that you will be emailed a copy of the presentation. So if you enjoy today's practice, you will be able to redo it anytime at your convenience and on demand. Before we get started, we wanted just to briefly introduce both Aligned Modern Health and Lofty, just in case it is your first time joining us. Aligned Modern Health is Chicagoland's top-rated health and wellness service provider, offering expert care out of 16 clinic locations throughout the Chicagoland area, in addition to telemedicine services throughout all of Illinois, Colorado, Ohio, Washington, Florida, and Minnesota. We take an integrative approach to medicine, allowing our providers to work together to truly get to the root cause of why people are feeling what they're feeling, and not just focus on one singular symptom or condition. This allows us to take a look at you as a whole person and really understand your lifestyle, your environmental factors, and all of the goals that you're hoping to achieve. We do this through offering physical medicine, which includes chiropractic care, injury prevention and rehabilitation, athletic performance support, and clinical massage therapy. We also offer functional medicine and clinical nutrition. I like to say this is a really great way to look internally to better understand why you're feeling what you're feeling externally. We take a look at gastrointestinal disorders, autoimmune issues, bloating, constipation, fatigue, migraines, hormone balancing, food sensitivities, weight management, nutritional counseling, these kinds of things. We round out our services with acupuncture. Acupuncture is a great way to address physical pain concerns, but also some intangibles like stress, anxiety, depression, fatigue, insomnia, men's and women's health and hormone balancing, and infertility. We also offer other modalities within our acupuncture practice like cupping, moxibustion, gua sha, and herbal medicine. Aligned Modern Health is in network with most major insurance providers, and we offer complimentary benefits checks to investigate those policies and coverage details. And we also offer free 15-minute consultations so that you have some dedicated one-on-one time to ask questions of a provider before committing to a full new patient exam with us. We are here for you and happy to help. Next, I would like to introduce Carrie and Michelle, who is joining us from Lofty, to give us a little bit of information about her organization.
Hello, everybody. I'm Carrie Ann. I'm coming to you live from the mountains of Virginia after 12 years downtown Chicago. So that's a nice introduction to the idea of bringing in mindful balance into life. Personally and professionally, that's part of what I live and breathe and offer at Lofty. We're very excited to be here today, and we like to think of our services as very complementary to the Aligned Modern Health community. So, the idea of mindfulness is much more than a buzzword to us. And the reason we say that is because at Lofty, we help to elevate leaders and their teams through personal and professional development. We do that a couple of ways. We work with executive leadership in a one-on-one capacity, doing consulting and mindfulness training. And we also create immersive workshops, both virtually and in person, for teams. And what we find is through our programming, we help to enable more authentic self-connection, compassionate communication for self and others, and ultimately a deeper sense of community. We are really proud to have supported a number of large corporate entities over the last few years, like Boston Consulting Group, Yelp, General Assembly, and the Carter Center. We also work with communities. We've worked with Lululemon and Outdoor Voices to design really fun and exciting workshop experiences for their membership communities. So we're excited to be here today, and I'm especially thrilled to be sharing with you one of my most favorite tools in our toolbox, which is sound healing. And so that'll be a part of the journey we share today. We also provide meditation, Qigong instruction, which is a sister to Tai Chi, in addition to creating workshop curriculum around mindfulness and more effective management for leaders.
Excellent, Carrie, and thank you so much for that great introduction into Lofty and a little bit about your talents. If you would, we'll stay with you if you could share a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, so again, I'm Carrie Michelle. I'm the CEO and founder of Lofty, and I am a musician. I started my career as a classically trained vocalist and went into that creative side of the world in corporate America inside of creative advertising and public relations firms. And ultimately, I was a vice president at a global communications company. And so I really understand the rigor of corporate America. I understand what a high stress job can feel like. And as I started my own company, Lofty, just about 5 years ago, I had an opportunity to think about what are some of the other tools that I use in my life to be successful, both when I was in corporate America, but also as an entrepreneur. And so what I like to do is bring sort of both sides of my experience and background together to my clients. So I have a deep understanding of marketing and branding, and I help to put that into our workshops where we elevate things around communication. But on the other side, as I mentioned in the introduction to Lofty, having that background as a musician, studying meditation, studying Qigong, I'm also a Reiki master, and bringing those tools in a super approachable way to leaders and their teams to ultimately be able to feel more confident and more authentic when you are communicating either about your work experience or with your teammates. So I speak and lead workshops on things like imposter syndrome and how to overcome that. As I mentioned, mindfulness training, building a self-care plan. These are just a few of my favorite things to share.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you for co-hosting with Aligned Modern Health. I absolutely agree that we are definitely like-minded organizations and very complementary to each other. Next, I would like to introduce my colleague at Aligned Modern Health, Matthew Kerr, who is our acupuncturist at the Aligned Modern Health Andersonville Clinic location. Matthew, welcome, and would you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Janine. As she said, my name is Matthew Kerr, and I'm a licensed acupuncturist at our Andersonville Clinic. I've been in practice now for about 10 years, and prior to joining Aligned Modern Health, I ran my own private practice in the Andersonville location. And then before finding Chinese medicine and acupuncture, I actually studied psychology and drawing and painting. So for me, Chinese medicine is a really great way to bridge that gap between my passion for helping people and then also that creative side. I really like to focus on mental and emotional health with my patients, no matter what they're coming in for. So it can be really nice to help assist someone through their journey. If they're coming in for some sort of pain or tension, stress relief can be something that's really helpful, and acupuncture is one of the amazing ways to do that. Today we're going to talk a little bit about some basic types of meditation that you can do for yourself pretty much anywhere. I'll take you through a guided meditation for body scan, and afterwards we'll have Carrie Ann here for a meditative healing sound bath. I recommend some form of meditation to most all of my patients. Meditation can be a great way to disconnect from the stress of our day and just take a moment to check in with ourselves. There are so many different types of meditation out there. And depending on how much time you have, meditation can be as simple as sitting quietly at your desk, closing your eyes, and just taking a few deep breaths into your belly. I know most of us are still working from home, so sometimes it's nice to just step away, get away a little bit, do a little bit of breathing, walk around the apartment, wherever you might be. There's also a really great meditation called 4-7-8 breathing, where you can connect your breath with counting to help keep your mind focused on your breath. 4-7-8 breathing is a technique where you breathe in for a count of 4, hold the breath for a count of 7, and then out for a count of 8. Sometimes people find that the 4, 7, 8 might be a little bit difficult at first, but any sort of like regular type of breathing, so you can do like a 2, 5, 6, 3, 6, 7, you know, and then build up to that 4, 7, 8. We don't want you to stress out about trying to hold your breath for too long. Meditation doesn't always have to be something that you do while sitting quietly in a room. I know a lot of my patients have a hard time shutting off their mind and sitting quietly. Walking meditation can be a fantastic way to get ourselves out of the house, out of the office, and out into some nature. Oftentimes, you know, I'll put on my headphones, listen to some nice relaxing music, go out for a walk, you know, let my mind wander a little bit while enjoying some nature, some sunshine here in Chicago. There's also some really, really great apps out there that can be helpful for people that are looking for a little more support, especially when you're first starting out with meditation. Oftentimes people, you know, maybe they're not sure if they're doing it right. You know, they find it hard to concentrate and do certain things. Some really great apps that I recommend to people are Calm, Headspace, and 10% Happier are some of the more popular ones out there that I recommend. These apps are really great because they have so many different types of options for different lengths of time. There's a bunch of different categories that you can choose from for meditation. So there's some that you can do just for like general relaxation. There's a lot of them on there that can be helpful for sleep. So a lot of times if people have a difficulty calming their mind, specifically before sleep, due to stressful day, things like that, a lot of these apps have some things that you can do to help relax yourself before bed. So today we are going to focus on a muscle relaxation, something perfect if you feel tension in the body. If you need a little help releasing some of that, this body scan we're going to do today will help you to listen to your body in a new way, learning how to release any stress you may be holding in different areas of your body. So don't force your body to change how it feels, but instead try accepting its signals. This is the way your body and mind speak to each other and to you. Instead of shutting all that down, respect it. Listen to these messages to learn something more about your body and how it reacts to different events or emotions. Did you know that most muscle tension can be linked to stress and anxiety? Oftentimes with elevated levels of stress, we can hold tension in various parts of our body without even knowing it. So I often see patients coming in with tension that's, you know, being held in their neck and shoulders, their upper back. A lot of times people will clench their jaws or grind at night due to stress levels. So, you know, tension in the jaw, and then sometimes that can even lead to headaches. So stress, you know, we need to learn to address it and, you know, relax a little bit. So that's what we're gonna do for today. So let's get ready for our body scan. So if you would like to, find a comfortable place to relax. If you'd like to stay seated in your chair, make sure your feet are flat on the floor and your hands are relaxing in your lap. Or if you would like to lay down on a mat or a bed, just make sure your hands are in a relaxed place next to your body and your legs are just slightly separated, nice and relaxed. We'll start this body scan from the head to observe all of the body from the head to the toes. We'll observe how we feel, to notice any body sensations, and release some pain and tension with this meditation. So as I say the part of the body, just visualize the area relaxing. And if you feel any tension there, see if you can send your breath there to help release any tension, pain, or stress you're holding in that specific area of your body. If you would like to use a color that responds well to you, that can be helpful with visualizing. I like to visualize a bright blue light covering areas of my body as I move through this scan. So let's close your eyes and start with a few deep breaths into our bellies. If you'd like to place your hands on your abdomen while you breathe into it, Pushing your stomach out as you breathe in and back down as you breathe out. Good. Let's do a few more of those. Breathe in and out. In and out. Let's do one more. In and a nice long relaxing breath out. So let's try and keep this cadence of breathing as we move through the body scan. So let's bring the attention to the top of your head, moving into the forehead and the eyebrows, relaxing the eyes, cheeks and the mouth, opening the jaw a little bit just to help release the jaw and relax it. Now let's move to the back of the head, down the neck, and to the top of the shoulders. Many of us tend to hold some tension in our shoulders from sitting at a desk. So let's spend some time breathing here and relax the shoulders a little more. Let's move the focus into the upper back, the middle back, and all the way down into the lower back. Let's bring your attention into the hips. Feel yourself firmly rooted to the mat or the chair. Moving the attention to your thighs. Start with the right thigh. Move down into the right knee. Down through the lower leg. Into that right foot. And the toes as the entire right leg and foot is relaxed. Now let's move back up to the left thigh. Moving into the left knee. Down the lower leg. Into that left foot. And finally the toes. So let's sit for a moment. Feel your entire lower body and legs relaxed. Full of light and free of tension. If you find your mind distracted, bring your attention back to the breath. Acknowledge any of the thoughts that may be present at the time. Just set them aside for now. As we continue some of that nice relaxing belly breathing, let's move our focus up to the arms. Let's start with the right arm. Down into the forearm. Into the hands. All the way into the tips of our fingers. Right arm and hand nice and relaxed. Let's go back up to the left arm. Down into the elbow. Down the forearm. Into the left hand. And the fingers. Feeling how both arms and hands are nice and relaxed. We'll move into the chest now. Continuing our nice relaxing belly breathing. We'll move down into the ribs and into the stomach. This is a good place to take a moment and breathe some of that light into our abdomen as we do a few rounds of belly breathing here. Breathing in and out. In and out. Release any tension you may be holding in your upper body. Now we're going to scan our body from your head to your toes as our total body overview. Take your time to notice how you're feeling in the moment. If any tension remains, bring your awareness to that area of your body and breathe in positivity and energy. And exhale any discomfort and tension or pain you may be feeling. Feel yourself in total relaxation. Feel your body free from all the tension and the stress of the day. Now let's take a few more deep breaths as we lay here or sit, acknowledging how relaxed we feel. And when you're ready, you can wiggle your toes a little bit, stretch the fingers and the hands. Feel your body nice and relaxed. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes if you'd like to, or you can keep them closed. And please remain in this nice relaxed position as we move into our relaxing sound bath with Carrie Ann. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it.
Matthew, thank you so much. That was incredible. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your talents with us. I don't know about you folks out there, but I feel before we started that I had a subconscious weighted blanket over my entire body that has now been lifted and released. So Matthew, personally, I thank you, and I hope all of you out there enjoyed that as well. Again, it's just a reminder, we will be sending out a recording of this entire presentation so that you can rewatch Matthew's meditation on demand and do it over with him as many times as you would like. Carrie Ann, I'd love to invite you back into the conversation now to give us a little bit of an introduction to sound healing and sound baths before you guide us through one.
Great, thank you. And thank you, Matthew, I feel very zen. So I want to just share a couple ideas about what a sound bath is and how it helps the body and the mind before we experience a mini sound bath together. So I'm going to be playing crystal sound bowls today, and there are a few different ways that these acoustic instruments benefit the body. So on a physical level, the sound vibrations that happen from these bowls help us to relax. And what we're looking to do on a physical level is activating what's called our parasympathetic nervous system. Think of it as the opposite of fight or flight. So simply just by hearing the waves of sound, you are on your first step to activating that part of your body. And just like music is scientifically proven to help us relax, to change our mood, that's the same benefit you're receiving. The next thing that I love about sound is that, at least for me, it really gives my mind a place to focus when I'm working on being in a meditative state. And one of the benefits of really focusing the mind is that we're in a better place to start to regulate our emotions. Because when we're paused, when we're able to be more mindful and more calm, we can become more aware, moment to moment of how we're feeling and what are those different feelings going on, which can give us some insight to what we want to let go of or what we want to bring in. And ultimately, if we're practicing this on a regular basis, we start to change our brain. And in the practical sense of, this next sort of 5 to 8 minutes in your mini sound bath today, one of the things that you are able to do is, as you start to go to that awareness of the emotions, you start to sink down to just a little bit of a deeper layer of relaxation, you start to move your mind wandering into a space where we get more creative, insightful thinking and problem solving. And that's one of the reasons that I love a tool like sound baths and sound healing in a corporate setting. So I'm excited to walk you through this. I'm going to move back to sit behind these bowls, but what you can go ahead and do is find yourself in a comfortable position. So perhaps you were lying down for the meditation, perhaps you were sitting. Either way is perfect for what we're about to settle into. And just go ahead if it feels good and close your eyes. You can keep them open if that feels better, and just place your focus perhaps on the wall in front of you, the ceiling, and start to just once again notice your breath. Just noticing your inhale and exhale. Just feeling the body breathe itself. Noticing the sounds around you. Noticing the space between the sounds. Feeling a sensation of support to your body as you notice the furniture or the floor completely supporting you at ease, relaxed. Perhaps noticing any thoughts, ideas, emotions that are present. Just coming and going without attaching to anything. Inviting in a sense of being and well-being. And in this sense of being and well-being, simply sinking back into awareness of sound. Slowly and gently start to come back to your body. Just keeping your eyes closed if that feels good. Once again, noticing your breathing. Perhaps just gently starting to increase the inhale and exhale. Noticing sounds around you. Feeling the touch of air on your skin. inviting in some intuitive movements, perhaps rolling your ankles, your wrists, moving your head side to side. Might feel good to stretch your body long. And then when you're ready, if you're lying on the floor, moving slowly, perhaps making your way over to the right or left side before you gently use the strength in your arms to come up to a seated position. And opening and closing your eyes several times till you come back fully awake, alert, and conscious. Just taking this moment here to feel your body. Just feel if anything has shifted from these experiences today.
Carrie Ann, thank you so much. We really appreciate you sharing your time and your talents with us. That was an incredible introduction for me to sound baths, and I have a feeling for a lot of our guests as well. Again, folks, if you did enjoy that and you would like to listen again, you will be emailed a copy of this recording a little bit later this week. That does bring us to the conclusion of the main portion of our presentation. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will stay on for a few more minutes with you in case you have any questions for either Matthew and or Carrie Ann. We invite you to type them into the Q&A feature of Zoom now. There is a button on your Zoom screen that says Q&A, and that is the best spot to ask Matthew or Carrie Ann any questions you may have. In the meantime, while you are typing those out, we'd love to get you the information that you're looking for. For more information on sound bath experiences and or mindfulness training for either yourself personally or for possibly your company or organization, you can get in touch with Carrie Ann directly at carrieann@getlofty.com. And again, that's LOFTI. Or you can connect with Carrie Ann on social media at carrieann.michelle. If you would like more information on Aligned Modern Health, our services, our clinic locations, the complimentary benefits checks, and or to schedule a personalized free 15-minute consultation, you can give us a call at 312-216-2452, or you can visit us at alignedmodernhealth.com. It looks like we do have a few questions coming in for our providers today. Carrie Ann, the first one is for you. Somebody asked, you said that the sound bowls you use are made out of crystal. What are the wands made out of, and does this matter?
Yes, thanks for asking that. Was the question, what are the wands made out of?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay, great. Those are called tampers, and they are essentially a hard piece of plastic with sort of like a suede material wrapped around the outside. And you can think of it as a stringed instrument, and that's sort of the bow that goes around. And just like with a crystal glass that has water, if you were to put your finger around it, you get that same sort of sound. These bowls are just larger, so they make a lower sound. But yeah, and they're made of, these are different colors because they have different minerals and gemstones infused into them.
Very interesting. Thank you so much. Matthew, we do have a question for you also. The question comes in as, I rarely breathe deeply. Why is it that I always seem to yawn when I do deep breathing exercises?
That's a good question. My thought is if our bodies are not used to breathing deeply on a regular basis, we're not getting as much oxygen into our systems. So maybe when you're starting to do some deep breathing, it signals your brain that you need a little bit more oxygen. So it might force you to yawn. My advice would maybe do a little bit more belly breathing, some nice deep breathing on a regular basis, and see if that shifts a little bit for you. Or maybe you might be a little bit tired when you're doing some deep breathing. That's a possibility.
Those are good points. To piggyback off of that, another question is about how to do belly breathing better. We have a guest that says that they are still lifting their shoulders when they breathe, so kind of more of a shallow breath. And she is not feeling her belly expand. Do you have any tips about how to work on or practice belly breathing, or diaphragmatic breathing, we call it?
Sure. I think the best way to start belly breathing is to do it while laying down. So that way your body is nice and relaxed, and it's a little bit harder for you to lift your shoulders if you're laying flat. And then, really focusing, I will tell patients to put their hands on their stomachs and really, really think about like pushing your belly out when you breathe in. So giving yourself a nice beer belly, if you will. And then, as you're breathing back in, just focusing on, relaxing the belly as it comes back in. And just, start there. And then just being mindful of like how your body is feeling. Maybe it's a sign that we're holding a little bit too much tension in our shoulders if we're lifting them up when we're breathing. Also too, if we're breathing, if you're noticing that you're breathing into your chest and lifting those shoulders, you're probably doing more shallow breathing and breathing higher up into your chest. And we want to focus on breathing lower into our abdomen.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We had a question come in about opportunities to experience more sound baths above and beyond the recording that will be sent out. And I would just like to redirect that person to contact Carrie Ann directly. This is one of her specialties. And if you would like to participate in more sound baths or perhaps introduce them to your organization, again, you can please email carrieann@getlofty.com. or find her on social media at carrieann.michelle. If there are any other questions from our guests today, you can please type them into the Q&A now. At this time, I'd like to say thank you so much again to both Matthew and Carrie Ann for joining us here today. Our next Digital Doc presentation will be on July 14th. That will be an introduction to our 2-minute turnaround idea, which are short exercises that produce results. You are welcome to register for that session at alignedmodernhealth.com. I see a lot of gratitude coming into our chat. So Carrie Ann and Matthew, please know that our guests are very grateful. We've got a lot of folks typing in messages of gratitude here. That does bring us to the conclusion of our presentation today. Thank you again so much for joining us. We are here for you and happy to help, and we hope you enjoyed this session. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.